Hey everybody, it's another Storm and Stones battle report. This time it's a 50-point game against Menoth with eFeora. If anyone saw the first ever battle report I posted between Morvahna and P. Severus, will know a little bit about this game. It was taken immediately after that game. We just kind of shuffled around some of the terrain a bit, and he brought out a new list, and I just used what I had. But for those who haven't seen it, I'll go through my force real quick. Starting from the advanced deployment, we have a Gallows Grove, unit of Shifting Stones with a UA, a second unit of Shifting Stones, a full unit of Blood Trackers with Nuala the Huntress, and kind of the main deployment. There's a Warple Stalker on the left, Wold Guardian, Morvahna just behind him, a unit of Wolfborn Skinwalkers with the Alpha, and tagging along with them is Megalith and a Druid Wilder. We are playing the Incursion scenario, so as you can see, there's the three flags in the center, and at the end of the second player's first turn, one of the flags will disappear, and then it's controlling or dominating the other two flags. First to 5 would win. Of course, caster kill will still apply and all that good stuff. So here is the Menoth forces. From kind of going from left to right, kind of going from front to back. We have a big unit of zealots with the little Menefix bearer. We have the Piper mercenary, reclaimer, the infamous book. I believe it's a vanquisher. A reckoner. eFeora is just behind the reckoner. That's why you really can't see him. There's I wanna call it a redeemer. It shoots a whole bunch of little rockets. Behind them is a big old unit of choir. In front of them there are some flame guard cleansers, I believe they're called. They have sprays and they can set down a wall of fire. And there's another vanquisher on the end, and there are two vassals of Menoth that are just kind of hanging out with them as well. So here we go on to my first turn. And again, like most first turns, involves a lot of running. The Gallows Grove and the Stalker heads off into the woods onto the left. The Wold Guardian moved up into the unpainted unit of Shifting Stones. It got teleported forward. The second unit of Shifting Stone just kind of shifted forward. Morvahna just kind of walked up through Harvest on herself and dropped a bunch of Fury that wasn't going to be needed. The Blood Trackers ran, trying to keep themselves to keep an eye on all the objectives to see which one's going to disappear. And trundling on the far right flank, the Skinwalkers running up, and Megalith with Restoration on the Skinwalkers, putting them at armor 18, and the Druid Wilders kind of trundling along behind them. So Menoth turn 1. We have the Zealots running up, praying for no spells, and the Menefix bearer saying, hey, there's going to be no damage, so don't bother trying. The center jacks both move up. The one that shoots down the large 4-inch template, I believe it's the Vanquisher, takes out a good chunk of my Blood Trackers, where the Reckoner, I believe, just kind of runs forward. The Redeemer also took a couple pop shots as well, but I don't believe it really did a whole lot. The Cleansers threw up a flame wall, just to hopefully stop my Blood Trackers from kind of skirting over there and laying waste to them, being that I chose them as my prey target. And the Vanquisher really didn't do a whole lot. It was just kind of waiting for my Skinwalkers to come into range. So yeah, on to my turn 2. And if you look here, the two flags that are left, those are the actual two flags that are left. If you look at the dice roll, it's showing us a 6. So that meant flag number 3 was the one that disappeared. You can kind of see Mike's hand in mid-action removing it. So my turn 2. Knowing that we only have these kind of two flags to worry about, I proceeded to do so. the Stalker and the Gallows Grove just kind of went back into that forest a bit more. I think I was a bit too conservative with the Stalker. I understand the Zealots couldn't have gotten hurt. I think I was a little bit too afraid of their bombs if I was out, so I figured I would just stay stealth in the forest. Because with the blood trackers and the kind of the strong stuff that I have in the front, I didn't think that the Zealots were gonna come out to get the Stalker and risk themselves. So, but so the Walled Guardian goes up to take the center flag. Shifting Stones kind of shift around next to him. More of the blood trackers got regrowed from Morvahna. The second unit of Shifting Stones just kind of shifted around Morvahna just to give her some sacrificial pawn targets. And the Skinwalkers move up, take the other flag with the Alpha behind them. Megalith keeping up restoration on them for the Armor 18. And yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. Nothing too exciting at this point. So, Menoth turn 2. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is just a better picture of the right flank and kind of what we're looking at in regards to into the forces. So you see the blood trackers with the regrowth, the restoration on the Skinwalkers. Though the Walled Guardian did put up Flesh of Clay on himself, being that he was pretty much standing in front of the entire Menoth army. And Morvahna does have Harvest on herself. So here's the Menoth kind of the Menoth turn. I don't know why I'm trying to think of something fancier to say than turn. But anyways, so you can see the Zealots kind of went forward, laid down a whole bunch of bombs, tagging a ton of blood trackers. You got the Vanquisher on the right also hitting some as well. It was an all-out assault on the blood trackers, and with good reason. This is at the end of the turn, so there's only the one blood tracker up near the Walled Guardian and Nuala hanging out on the hill. I do this on purpose so that I always have something to regrow. With them being, a heavy shooting unit, you can kind of hang one back, regrow a whole bunch around her, and then still set them up, and they can still inflict some damage and have some effect on the game. So it's blood trackers are Morvahna, just like cereal and milk. They're just wonderful. Anyways, so the Vanquisher shot up at the Skinwalkers. There's that 4-inch AoE that laid down. The Cleansers also shot to the Skinwalkers as well. And EFeora went up, popped her feet. So that's why you see she's looking at a whole bunch of focus. I think there was about 6 or 7 on her at the time. And that's how the continuous fire effect got moved over onto Morvahna. So at this point it was looking pretty scary. I believe I scored a control point from the Skinwalkers here, but still, taking 2d6 minus 1 damage every turn was not going to be good. So I needed to do something pretty drastic and pretty quickly. So here's my response. I saw Morvahna's feet, and I raised her, or I saw eFeora's feet, and I raised her a Morvahna feet. And I regrew 5 of the blood trackers. And with harvest up, I'm sorry. Let me explain a little bit more Morvahna. The Shifting Stones down at the bottom teleported her up so that I can hopefully dominate the flag. She popped her feet. After regrowing a whole bunch of blood trackers, the blood trackers and some of the Skinwalkers, between the blood trackers, the Skinwalkers, they went to town on those Zealots and some of the Cleansers. If you see that long string of white dice, those are all the forest templates that were created for Morvahna's feet. It was just awesome. and that's why you're seeing Morvahna with like 8 Fury on her right now because of Harvest. Well, I believe she caps at 7. So that's why you see that 7 Fury on her. Megalith went up, did a whole bunch of damage on that Reckoner, I believe disabling his club, which was really helpful. The World Guardian I actually teleported up behind the Zealot line. I didn't know if I wanted to go after eFeora or not. I figured where she had so much focus on her, it wasn't going to do any good, so I decided to keep smashing down Zealots. And actually, some of the 3-inch AoEs that were created from the forest were hitting Feora, and I mean, they didn't really do a whole bunch of damage, but it was enough that it did like 1 or 2 points here and that kind of thing. So yeah, and the Stalker, being that the Zealots mainly have been taken care of, he ran up. I don't know why he has that second Fury on him. I think it was. I have no idea. I don't know why I have no idea why I riled him. But anyways, there it is. He ran up. I think I thought, oh, that's what it was. I put sprint on him. So he walked up. I thought that he had range for one of the Zealots. He didn't. So that's why he has those 2 on him, because I thought that he would be able to kill somebody and then sprint further into the lines, but it was not to be. And with the Wilder hitting up the far other control point, avoiding the big flame template, I was able to score a second control point. Unfortunately, with that Reckoner there, and I believe Feora was close enough as well, I wasn't able to dominate the center flag. So here is Menoth, the end of Menoth turn 3. The Reckoner stepped out of combat from Megalith, tried to whack Morvahna, wasn't able to do anything. The Vanquisher walked up, or trampled forward, bought a few attacks, tried to also go after Morvahna, not really doing anything. Feora herself just was like, stand back and let the leader lead, and she tried doing it, didn't do anything. So I mean, I think I had to transfer like twice, with the Wold Guardian and Megalith being kind of the prime transfer targets, but I really wasn't in any major danger. Which I was surprised that he decided to go after Morvahna as hard as he did when I was sitting on 7 transfers. I don't know if I don't know. I thought he might have been a little bit better served, maybe just going after some of my other pieces, especially where Morvahna had that continuous fire on her. I think he could have kind of played the waiting game a bit more. But anyways, yeah. So Feora ended up burning like all of her focus, trying to kill Morvahna, and wasn't able to because the flags are incorporeal, and I believe there was a little bit of a gap between the flag and the shifting stone. So he was able to still do Feora's reach melee attacks. So this is kind of what I'm faced with. That Menofix bearer is really the one who's causing me a lot of problems, because usually the idea. Well, I'll just go into the next photo. Actually, well, this is still the same photo, or the same turn. Cleansers. Oh, the cleansers are also tying up Megalith, trying to make sure he can't really go anywhere. And the Skinwalkers are just having it out with the Vanquisher, and the Wilder's just kind of, scoring control points, acting as a cheerleader, saying, "Go me, go me." So yeah, so over to, I believe this is my turn 4. So the Stalker, as you can see, frenzied, walked up, killed a Blood Tracker. So that was wonderful. Also last turn, I forgot to mention, using the Gallows Grove, Morvahna cast an eruption of... Oh, no, actually she didn't. I'm sorry. She didn't kill the Piper, because the Piper's standing right there by the book. So never mind. Anyways, back to the center part. The shifting stones teleported Morvahna out of that big wall, a big mosh pit of death there, behind eFeora. I took a couple blood trackers and I tried to kill the Menefix bearer by throwing some javelins at it. But the problem was is that, you know, obviously where it's in combat with the Wold Guardian, I ended up missing the Menefix bearer, hitting the Wold Guardian and doing some sort of like ridiculous amount of damage. Thankfully, it was all to his body and it didn't take out any aspects. But it scared me enough. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, we're not doing that anymore. We're just going to kind of move on. One of the big blunders of this turn was actually Megalith. If you see him, it looks like he hasn't done anything. The reason why was because I very lazily moved the Druid Wilder, and obviously I didn't move him close enough or else you would have saw her in the picture. So the idea was that she was going to walk up, do condition on Megalith, remove those 3 Fury, so that he would be able to move up a little bit, pop his Animus, and be able to catch more eFeora in it, so that she would be at -2 defense. I was lazy in her positioning, and she was out of range. She was out of the 3 inches she needed to be, and she had more than enough movement. So that was just very, very silly play on my part. So with Morvahna kind of being in the back lines, I took her reach weapon. She killed the Menefix bearer, and then I used as many of her fury as I possibly could into the back of eFeora. It was plinking at best. You know, if I did any sort of damage, it was like 1 or 2 points. Either she was missing or it wasn't enough to do a lot of damage, until finally the Wold Guardian just kind of walked up, attacked, boost to hit her once, knocked her down, and then the second one turned her into paste. So that was it for the game. A win for Circle, an actual win, not a controversial win. And so yeah, so that was it. Hope you enjoyed. I should have another game coming up. It's Prime Kruger versus Mosar. It's a very quick game. I won't explain why. It's just bad. Anyways, all right. I'll talk to you guys soon.